Folks, today we move on to 9-10, which is now that we know how to do conversions in our chart in all directions, we will now use that to do limiting reactant problems. You do not need to do just mass to mass. Limiting reactant problems can be from any one thing to any one other thing using the balanced chemical equation. So we'll be doing those today. In order for us to be best prepared for that, we do want to go over 9-9 to be sure you know how to maneuver throughout the chart using stoichiometry. So we'll go over 9-9. 9-10 is our final assignment for Unit 9, which means what? You need to get missing assignments in. You need to get missing assignments in. Today is Thursday. Participation points for Unit 9 will go out next Wednesday. So you have till Wednesday to catch up on Unit 9 if you allowed yourself to get behind. Till next Wednesday. After next Wednesday, that's your extension. After next Wednesday, you will not be able to recoup any participation points for Unit 9. What about exam preparation? I'm thinking probably Tuesday of next week. You'll get something that looks ridiculously close to the exam. And you'll have the opportunity to work with that. Prepare yourself for the exam. It will be a required assignment. In other words, if you do not do the exam prep review, it will count toward the exam grade. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So you're going to get an exam review, and it will be a percentage of your exam. If you do not do the exam review, you won't be able to pass the exam. It'll be worth that many points. It might be worth like 50% of your exam, something like that. And if you don't do it, the highest grade you could get would be a 50% on your exam. You'll still do the exam review. Did you understand the great question that was just asked? What if you're exempting the chem exam? You'll still do the exam review. You'll still do it. You're like, well, how will you count the points for that? It will go on the 9-week score as well. So that was a great question. The exam review will be the last grade for the fourth 9 weeks. The exam review will be a huge percentage of the actual exam. You're like, does that mean we could do like have part of the exam done before we even sit down on exam day? Absolutely. You'll have a good chunk of the exam already done. You're like, but could we use like old handouts, old notes? Can we help each other? Can we network on this? No, absolutely. You can do anything you want to do well on the exam review, and it will count towards your exam grade, and it'll be the last score of the 9 weeks. With that said, where are we right now? We did 9-9. I believe that was due. Our last homework was 9-9. What was happening in 9-9? We were navigating on this chart in all sorts of directions. We learned that you could go anywhere to anywhere on this chart. When you look at it, the red side of the chart was something that you were what? Left side of the chart. This is the side of the chart that what? That's where you're starting. You were given something on the left side of the chart. You could have been given a volume. You could have been given moles. You could have been given mass. You could have been given a quantity count. And you were asked to find something else. And we now know that you could be given any of these 4 things, and you could be asked to find any of these 4 things. That's what we learned to do. We also learned a little bit about a little shortcut on this chart, going from one side to the other. The homework, we dealt with the shortcut. If you're given a volume and you're asked for a volume, there's a shortcut. You don't have to go from volume down to moles, over to moles, and back up to volume. And we'll take a look at that. What was that, problem number 8 or something like that? Let's take a look at what we were dealing with here in 9-9. Give you a chance to ask any questions on 9-9. Let me know what you have. How about on our first question? How many atoms of tin did the student start with if they were able to collect 5.6 liters of hydrogen? There's our given, 5.6. That is a volume, and we were asked for a quantity count, which is down there. Notice how this looks a lot like the chart. I was just trying to show you on the homework where you were moving on the chart. Does anybody have any questions on this one? Are we okay here? All right. How about what mass? So we're given a volume again, 5.6. Now we're finding a mass over there. Do we have any issues on that one? Notice when you have these set up correctly, this is just the dimensional analysis that we learned long ago. If you're given liters, it's here. What can you convert a volume to? Moles. If you have moles here, that unit is there. What are we doing here? We're converting it from moles of hydrogen to moles of hydrochloric, which is why moles of hydrochloric are there. When you look at the unit, I hope you're enjoying the beauty of this. I hope you're enjoying the beauty of factor label method and dimensional analysis. Whatever unit is here is canceled by that. Whatever unit is here is factored out by that. Whatever unit is here, canceled there. What are we left with? Grams of hydrochloric. What are we finding? Grams of hydrochloric. What's our final unit? It's grams of hydrochloric. Do you see the beauty? Of the dimensional analysis factor label method. It's fantastic. How about this question? How are we doing here? I don't even know. We're moving through here. Oh, did you guys watch the video clips? Pretty cool reaction there. There was no video clip for how this particular thing works on this thing. If you want to see it, you'll just have to open the hood of your car. This is dealing with a nice little reaction there, which helps keep our air clean or cleaner, more cleanly. How about this question? How are we doing? So far, we've had how many questions this period? Zero questions. Oh, yes. You got what? This is fantastic. So you put all your numbers in and you had 0.181. And what did your calculator say? Do you have your calculator? Are you able to look at it? Yeah. It said, did it say like to the 23rd? No. What did it say? Just 0.181 with like some other numbers. All right, let's punch it in. It's certainly possible. I could have made a mistake. So it didn't tell you what the exponent was. All right, so we have 1.38. 1.38 divided by 46.01, yes? These twos actually do what? Cancel. And we have 6.02 there. It probably should have been 6.022, but it's 6.02. I got 0.1805, which I round to 0.181, but I did not punch in the 10 to the 23rd. So I have 0.181 times 10 to the 23rd. You might not have done the 10 to the 23rd there. I don't know. We have 10 to the 23rd there. You see that now, yes? So I have 0.181 times 10 to the 23rd. This is not in proper scientific notation. Proper scientific notation, you need a number right here, and the decimal must be after it. So you have a digit decimal. digit decimal. So I've got to move that decimal 1 to the right. That's making this number bigger, yes? 1.81. What will that do to my exponent if I slide that 1 to the right, making that number bigger? The exponent will go down 1. I slid the decimal to the left, which is essentially pulling out one of these 10 to the 23rds and multiplying it by that number, leaving me 10 to the 22nd. Does that sort of make sense math-wise? So that's where we get that. Thank you so much for asking. That is why I love questions when we're asked, because sometimes as a teacher, you're like, do you understand it? And some of that's a confusing one. We haven't worked with scientific notation in quite some time. Now comes the question, how many liters? They're asking for a volume. Will be decomposed by 3.5 liters. So we're given a volume, yes? So we're given a volume and we're asked for a volume, and they asked us to do it the long way as well as the shortcut. So let's take a look at the setup for the long way. First setup, I have to go from volume to moles. There it is, 1 mole over 22.4, yes? So right here, we put 1 mole over 22.4. That came from right there. Now we're going mole to mole. Now we're going mole to mole, and it's telling us to use our what? Mole to mole, we need the coefficients from the balanced chemical equation. So we go up to the chemical equation. We would see from the balanced chemical equation that we have 1 mole of nitrogen. We look up here, we have 1 mole of nitrogen for every 2 moles of the nitrogen dioxide. So it's 1 mole of nitrogen over 2 moles. Then our final conversion. Is everybody watching the beauty of this? Here's our setup for the final conversion. 22.4, there it is, over 1. Boom. First one right there. Second one from the balanced chemical equation. Third one's right there. Now, why do we have this shortcut which says you could just put the coefficient right in and do it in one step? You see, they're saying we can go from volume straight over to volume by merely using the coefficients. We don't have to go here, here, here. We can go straight across. Why can we go straight across just using the coefficients? Did you take a second to look at that? Because of why? They cancel out. Beautiful. This first expression is canceled by that expression. The 22.4s are gone. The 22.4s are gone. 22.4 on the bottom is canceled out by the 22.4 on the top. That leaves us with just this middle. There it is. It leaves us with just the middle one. It's fantastic, really. And it says a lot about the properties of gases. Now, today, homework, we're going to learn about the shortcut from quantity count to quantity count. When we look on this chart right here, we will have a chance to experience the other shortcut. And we could see why the other shortcut would work as well. We're going to be given a quantity count and asked for a quantity count in one of the problems. You'll do it the long way. You'll go here, here, here. But going up, there's that expression, yes? When we go up, we're dividing by 602 times 10 to the 23rd. When we come back down, we're multiplying. So obviously, those two would cancel out, and we could just use the coefficients again. It's fantastic, really. We have unfortunately, we do have a typo on today's homework. Upsetting typo. You might want to take a look at it. There might be more typo on here. These assignments have been given before assignments. There's a pandemic. Although hopefully we're nearing the end of the pandemic, all these assignments were not done electronically. So there will be typos. These are like never be given assignments before, created by your teacher, created by your chemistry teacher, which is me. This is a limiting reactant problem. Can anybody see the typo right here? Look at this equality. You probably want this open because you would be nauseated, sickened by this assignment when you get home. We're converting formula units of sodium chloride to atoms of sodium. A quantity count to quantity count. This is supposed to be formula units of sodium chloride. What does it say inside here, though? Moles of what? Na. We're not dealing with Na. Na's on this side. That's what we're asked to find. This should be Na what? This should be NaCl. Excellent. 1 mole of NaCl. The Cl was left off. I did not want that to upset many of you. You might have lost sleep. You might have woke up at night screaming, and you didn't know why. You might have had a nightmare overnight. You're like, why am I having a nightmare about units? It's because your teacher had a typo. 9-10 is our assignment for today. Good luck. If you have any questions or need help, don't hesitate to ask. The answer key is there so you can check your work as you go.